listeners. We wanted to start out this episode by giving a few shoutouts. First, we want to give a huge thank you to Roger Freeman for becoming a subscriber to the show. For only a small monthly subscription of $5, she has unlocked access to the interdimensional radio station, as well as access to an extra bonus episode per month where we discuss a curious group called the OTEV. Second, we wanted to give Derrick Shields a shout out for ordering a BAKA Cola T-shirt from our online store. You can order yours at thenightmaretrials.square.site. Lastly, we wanted to give a huge shout out to AMR Studios for adjusting and tuning our introduction theme for our listeners. Thank you all. It is because of you that we are able to continue on with this podcast. Now, for our research file. Beauty, love, desire, these are all things most humans appreciate and even long for. Some people have them while others are lacking in this department. But what if you had the ability to change what is beautiful, what is desirable, or even how we know to love? Would you take that chance? In this next research file, we will explore this more and listen to the story of Jade, an outcast in her high school, who happens upon a very peculiar item. An item that will have us saying, be careful what you wish for. Hello, listeners. My name is Professor Adontes Finch, and welcome to the Nightmare Trials.
My package arrived today and I can't wait to open it up. I ordered a mystery box off of eBay months ago and it finally arrived. I might be the only sophomore at my high school that orders mystery boxes online for fun, but I don't care. I'm not gonna let anyone ruin my weird hobby. I tear open the box and get through the packaging peanuts to the bottom and see one notebook? Are you serious? One little journal? Ugh, I spent all my pay from working the concession stand at those stupid basketball games on this. Oh well, I guess I'll at least check it out. Maybe it's full of juicy confidential information or the great secret to life. I pulled out the small leather journal to get a closer look. It was about 8 inches long and was bound with a long leather string that wrapped around it, closing it and all of its unknown contents inside. My fingers slid across the lettering stamped across the front. Be careful what you wish for. Ominous. Maybe this mystery box isn't so bad after all. Usually these mystery boxes have a wide variety of items in it. I've gotten clothes, office supplies, Amazon returns, but never a journal. I turned the notebook over in my hand. On the back, I noticed an embossed symbol about the size of a quarter. It was a triangle that was pointed upward like a mountain, but it didn't have a bottom. And there were 2 small X's on either side. Underneath the mountain were 3 small dots. I unwound the leather string and opened the front cover. I read the black lettering written on the back of the front cover with anticipation and excitement. Be careful what you wish for. The keeper of this journal shall have 2 chances to make a wish. Write your wish on the line. No previous wish can be repeated. No wishing for more wishes. You may not wish for others to die. You may not wish for yourself to die. You may cross out your wish to reverse it. This journal's power may not be told to any other living human being. This journal may not be given to any known person, only from one stranger to another. No previous owner can be an owner again. Good luck. A wishing journal? It grants wishes? No freaking way! This is so cool! There are so many options spinning in my head. My mind flashes to Dylan. I smile at the thought of his swoopy blonde hair and his dimples. My heart stops short when I remember the reality of Dylan and I. Pfft, there is no Dylan and I. We've never even talked. He's just a boy in my art class this semester and he doesn't even know I exist. Maybe I could wish for there to be a Dylan and I. Jade and Dylan sitting in a tree. I giggle. I laugh at myself in the mirror over my desk. My wild, unruly black hair that I could never tame surrounded me like a mane. My nose was too big for my face, and my face was riddled with acne. I know everyone says that looks don't matter, but in high school they absolutely do. Just ask Harmony and the Jessicas. I roll my eyes at the thought of those terrible girls. I've been in school with them since I was in kindergarten, and somehow they get meaner every year. I look at the journal thinking of all the wishes I could put down to get back at my torturers from over the years. One year in elementary school, Harmony convinced my class that my parents were brother and sister. And then in 6th grade, they put a fart noisemaker in my desk. They set it off with a remote. Not only did the whole class laugh at me, but I got in trouble by the teacher who thought I put it there. There's my mom telling me, Jade, go to bed. You have your field trip tomorrow. I looked at the journal. There were pages and pages of previous wishes. No way I'm going to bed without reading some of these other wishes. I pull out my book light and read late into the night and early into the morning hours. My alarm was especially alarming at 6 a.m. I stayed up way too late, and now I need to get ready for my art class field trip to the art museum today. Once seated on the bus, I pulled out the wish journal to finish reading everyone's old wishes. I was actually surprised at some of the wishes that were crossed out, which I know the rules said could be done. I just didn't get why so many people would change their minds. There were of course ones to get rich and move to an island. Those were crossed out. Become famous was one. Be invisible was crossed out too. And that made me laugh out loud, thinking of an invisible man panicking to be seen again. My laugh caught the attention of Jessica B. She was sitting in the seat across from me. She nudged Jessica P, and they both tapped Harmony sitting in front of them. I tried to focus back on the journal when Harmony loudly asked if I was enjoying my hilarious reading material, and how it must be my diary. I ignored their laughs until she called out, "Hey, hairball, pizza face." "Shut up, Harmony," I yelled. "Ooh," the bus called out until Mrs. Johnson absently told the bus to knock it off. I wonder if I could wish Harmony to break a bone. It's not wishing for her to die. I shook the thought out of my head quickly as we pulled up to the museum. Despite the rough start to my day, I was excited for this trip. I've been doing art and sketches since I was little. I don't have a gang of Jessicas, but I do have interests and hobbies and talents, and who needs friends? I think of the wish journal again. I could wish for friends. Our art class is split up into groups, and we get to wander the building in our groups, and then we all meet up for lunch. The day flew by, and I found myself in the cafeteria eating alone as usual. I didn't really mind being alone, although a friend or two wouldn't hurt. I think of Dylan again. He wasn't in my group, but he was sitting at the next table over. And with my head in my hand and my elbow resting on the journal, I tried to sneak a peek at him to my right, just looking through my hair. I ended up moving too far and knocking my wish journal to the floor. I tried to lean over and grab it before it hit the ground, but no luck. Dylan leaned down and picked up the wish journal. My heart was beating in my ears, and I could feel the heat flushing at my skin. He picked up the wish journal and he looked at me. His blue eyes were so blue and deep I could get lost in them. He handed it to me and said, "That's a cool sketch journal. Here you go, Jane." My stomach dropped. Jane? Oh my god, no freaking way he thinks my name is Jane. I can hear Harmony and the Jessicas laughing. Harmony called out, "Yeah, Jane, here's your sad diary." I snatched the journal and I ran off to the bathroom crying. I hid in the stall and I looked at the journal. What should I wish for? For Dylan and for Harmony to disappear? For me to be popular instead of her? I hate Harmony. I hear the bathroom door open and the three girls enter. They talk about Dylan and Harmony asking him to the Sadie Hawkins dance. I grip my pen tighter. Then she starts talking about me, reenacting me dropping my journal and Dylan calling me Jane. She was so evil. Why couldn't Dylan see that? It wasn't his fault. He didn't know my name. I've never talked to him before. But how I feel right now, that is because of Harmony. I picked up my pen as I hear the Jessicas leave while Harmony puts on more lip gloss. I could see her through the crack in the stall looking at the mirror with her high blonde ponytail and flawless skin and high cheekbones. I wish Harmony was as ugly on the outside as she is on the inside. As I wrote the words, they disappeared into the paper. Then they began to reappear with a gold light shining through the ink. When it finished, a bright flash came from the book and I heard a whimper. I looked through the crack at Harmony. Her skin began to bubble up on her face, and it was like a rolling boil in a pot, but on her skin. Warts began to push through all over on her nose and her cheeks and her forehead. They looked swollen and painfully red. Her lower jaw began to swell at the same time, giving her a large underbite like a caveman. Then Harmony's body began to stretch all at once. Her bones were growing longer and longer by the second. Her fingers were cracking at the knuckles as they inched outward. Her bright red polished nails started popping off as they flew across the room, one by one. Sharp, thick, tinted claws sliced through her skin in their place. I stared in horror through the crack, covering my mouth as I watched her transform. Her lips melted together like a big mush of skin that just mashed as she tried to talk and scream. Her head was getting up to the ceiling now as her bones continued to crack with the growth. The terror on her face was easy to recognize, even if she wasn't recognizable as herself or even as a human. She examined her hands as black ooze began to come to the surface of her skin. It seeped out of her pores all over her body. Her feet had busted through her shoes, and talons sprouted out from the nail beds. She wriggled with pain as muffled noises came from the lumpy, bumpy, misformed shape that was her head. Her hair began melting off as her long body collapsed to the ground. I looked at the journal on my lap, and I thumbed to the front. To reverse a wish, cross it out. I raced back to my page and I drew a shaky line through the wish. Another golden light shined through the ink, and I looked through the crack of the stall again. Harmony was passed out on the ground. I hurried out of the stall and began shaking her shoulders. Her size, shape, and skin were all back to normal. It was like a fever dream. Would she remember? I shook her again. Harmony! Harmony, wake up! She slowly opened her eyes and looked confused. Then a moment of realization seemed to hit her, and she sat up quickly. She checked her hands and she felt around on her face and then up to her hair. She looked panicked at me and then she ran out of the bathroom. I didn't really know what to think about what I just saw. I picked up the journal from the ground and just stared at it. I know that lunch is almost up and I head back to my table just completely numb. I scanned the room for Harmony. She was with the Jessicas. What did she tell them, I wonder? That she just passed out? That she had a bad dream? She was crying. Then I saw Dylan give her a hug. Great! I pushed them together. I should have left her as the evil, ugly monster that she is. I was fuming. Maybe ugly wasn't the answer. Maybe it was beauty. Maybe I needed to be pretty like Harmony. Mrs. Johnson called for us to join together in the statue room for the tour. I looked down at the journal again, and I thought of the beautiful statues that I've admired and sketched. I want to be an inspiration. I want to be beautiful. I open up the wish journal again. I pick up my pen and I write, I wish to be gorgeous and admired by all. The ink once again sunk into the paper. Mrs. Johnson was calling my name from the outside of the cafeteria. I ran off in that direction. I missed the golden glowing light from the ink as I left the journal on the table. As I approached the statue room, my body began to feel heavy. I could feel myself slowing down. I tried pushing harder, and I noticed that my legs began to drag. It was like I was pulling them through wet mud. I caught a glimpse of my arm, and it was turning white, like a bright white. What is happening to me? By the time I got to the edge of the room, I could no longer move. My limbs are stone. My torso is stone. My entire body has become a bright white marble-carved statue. A cold fills me up from my core. I cannot move. I cannot speak. My class turns to me as the tour guide begins describing me. Wild hair, large nose. It was a sign of beauty, she was saying. My class pulled out their sketchbooks as they admired me. The Jessicas were pointing up to my hair and then trying to push up their straight locks, looking jealous. Harmony pulls out the mirror and checks her reflection and then looks at me with sadness. Harmony wants to look like me. I find Dylan. Dylan is so focused on me, drawing, studying me, every detail. He looks at me with his deep blue eyes as he scans across my face. My skin is smooth and flawless. I am gorgeous and admired. The tour guide calls for my class to follow her into the next room. The horror of what I have done begins to sink in. I watch as Harmony and the Jessicas and Dylan and the rest of my class leave me alone for the next set of the guests to come through. I dart my eyes around as far as I can see. I spot the journal left on the lunch table. A janitor picks it up and pockets it as he continues to clean. I can't undo this wish. The sadness of my true fate begins as I fully understood to be careful what you wish for.
Thank you for listening. If you would like to have an extra bonus episode a month and access to the interdimensional radio station, subscribe to the Nightmare Trials either on Spotify or on Patreon. For the Patreon subscribers, you will need to type in patreon.com/the Nightmare Trials. The cost for the subscription is only $5 per month, and your contribution helps us continue with creating quality content. Further, make your way to Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram to add the Nightmare Trials to your socials. We like to do giveaways, post short video content, and we love to engage with our listeners. We will see you next week with a new episode. Until we meet again.